welcome back everybody. So this video is about something I'd like to see in Out of the Park 23, and you might be thinking, Pat, your last video was an Out of the Park 23 wish list. Are you repeating yourself from last week? And no, that's not the case. Just what is the case is me being the very smart person that I am. I made the Out of the Park 23 wish list, and then I remembered there was one thing that I forgot to include in that video after I'd released it. So here I am back with really what would have been the fourth thing on the wish list, but too late to add it there. And so we're at the preseason prediction page, which you get these predictions at the beginning of every season. And it predicts the standings, and it gives you some player numbers as well. I think these player numbers are probably more projection based than prediction. I don't mean to like try to split hairs here, but there is a difference between a prediction and a projection. And I think that these numbers likely come from whatever in the game engine is kind of like determining player outcomes, player development, and things like that. I'm sure somebody can speak, one of you watching can probably speak way better to the right lingo and terminology for that. So I know Out of the Park uses a Zips projection system for player ratings when the game starts. I don't know if that's what goes into these projections season by season that you see. So what you get here is you get 10 players in each league, 10 hitters and 10 pitchers in each league. You get it down here for the National League, and you get the predicted top hitters and top pitchers. But these numbers, I think, are actually projections, is what I'm thinking. And if you're the general manager of a team, these would be really nice numbers to have on your players. Every front office in the real life MLB has their own projection system. If you use a site like Fangraphs to look at player sites, there are many public-facing projection systems, Zips being one of them, the BatX, Steamer. All these are projection systems, so it's not like it's giving you a peek behind the curtain, so to speak, of the game. It would really just be giving you a system that every front office uses to kind of project players' performance as they put together their club. And if you look at these numbers here and then look at them at the end of the year, they're not always exactly right. Like, this is a projection, and maybe it's like the 50th percentile projection for each player, and then there's a whole range of outcomes that a player can reach between these. And so on the player pages, there is a projected pace, but let's take Jose Ramirez here, right? 31 home runs, 24 stolen bases, 88 RBI. Those are his projected numbers for the season. And I've simulated one game into the season here, and you can see it says projected numbers, 0 home run, 0 doubles, 0 RBI. But what this actually is, it's not a projection. It's actually what he's on pace for. And his projection would still be very similar to this, because one game isn't going to change a projection all that much. So I would love for a projection here for each player. Like, when you go into when the off season begins, change the projection here so it's after the 2021 season, when you go into the off season, so then a projection pops up here for the 2022 season. And then I think it should remain there for the whole season, right? Like, say we're in the 2022 season, like the projection for 2022 should remain here. Now, real life projections will change as the season goes on with new information, and it'll factor in their performance, etc. Maybe that would be too much. I don't know how difficult that would be, or any of this would be, to be honest. Obviously, I don't make the game. And so whether this projection just generates and it gives it to you, and it stays the same projection throughout the season, or the projection updates as the player goes through the season, either way there, I would be happy with either one. But it'd be nice, like, when you go into the off season, instead of just looking at past performance, also being able to look at what future performance projects. And maybe eventually you can even put in different projection systems. So, like, you can decide as a general manager, do you like Steamer or Zips or the Bat or the BatX or, whatever number of projection systems. But, I would love if that could be added to the game, because I think it's, one of the most valuable tools that front offices use. I think that's why you've seen contracts change so much, with older players not getting as much, younger players getting more money sooner and big extensions, is because teams are way more projection based now. And it's not oh, this guy is 30 and he's had a great career, so we're going to continue to extend him. Teams know now with their projection system if that how what the likely aging curve for that player is. So we don't, as playing out of the park, we don't really have that tool. And I think, again, it's the most important tool that front offices use. And you do have, and I want to point this out again, like there is, in case somebody says there is projections here in the league leaders, which there is, but again, this is not a projection. This is what they're on pace for, right? Giancarlo Stanton is not projected to bat 1,000. He's on pace to bat 1,000. Same thing with Josh Bell. He's on pace for 324 home runs, not projected for it. So, whether this stays the same or goes away doesn't really matter to me. But it would be cool to have projected leaderboards for the season with the player projections and not just one they're on the pace for. And when I'm talking about the player projections, again, I'm talking about what's in these preseason predictions. Like, this is the only place that we see these numbers that I know of the season projection, and we only get it for 10 hitters and 10 pitchers. But I'd imagine if they're giving us the top hitters and pitchers, it's there in the game. And it would be really cool if we could add that to our player profiles. So that's my last suggestion. I would love, as a general manager of whatever team in this game, to be able to have better forward-looking tools to evaluate my roster building. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of that video. Oh, my battery's low. So we better cut the video off here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Talk to you guys next time.